Hi guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to be showing you how to do a set of steps with a little deck on it for this side. Now my dollhouse is kind of turned up sideways, so hopefully you can see it. We're in the middle of having some stuff dried. It needs to lay flat. But in the meantime, when we give you the measurements and everything on this, you're going to have to adjust it to fit your steps, because with the way that this door came when I got it, it had this extra little lip. So my measurements are kind of like crazy measurements. So the steps should be all exactly the same, and because of this I had to adjust it just a little bit so that it would come even with this. But I'll show you how we did it, and then we'll go ahead and put it together. Okay, so here's the measurements. I'll take a picture of this and I'll put it on my Facebook page so you can go ahead and get those for yourself. But again, when you get to the steps, you're going to have to measure this for your porch and where your door is going to come. We had to adjust it up, and even though these are supposed to be the same, we had to do that adjustment because of the height of this step. And this is the deck top, this is the back piece. Now you can cut this out of a 1/8 inch and use this brace, or you can cut it out of a piece of scrap wood and then you don't need that brace. We're going to avoid the brace part and just use the thicker wood because it'll be sturdier. And then you have the risers. You'll have to cut 2, and then the first step you'll cut 1. And how I did this is I just cut the board out, and then I took this on the bandsaw and sawed it. If you have a hacksaw, you could probably use that as well. Okay, the very first thing you need to do before you can put together all your pieces, once you have them cut out to the size, is clip your 2 steps together. Your landing step and then your very first step. Once they're done, then you want to put them on the sander, and you're going to just go like this and let it round it just a little bit. And then once that's done, then you can start putting it together. Rounding the steps is optional, of course, but I do want it rounded, so I'm going to round it. Okay, so once you have it rounded, the corner should be kind of like that, just on the 2 sides. The back side should still be at a square angle. Okay, so if you're using a block of scrap wood as opposed to a 1/8 inch with a small brace, then you want to mark where it's going to be at with a pencil and put 2 nails in there just like that. That's going to help support it. Alright, now we're going to apply some glue on the end of the block. That is if he can work it. Alright, so now he's got it coming out and it's dripping on the table. Just kind of smear it around there to get it good and coated. Okay, so now you want to put the step piece on the side, on top, and then you want to make sure that you have it even with the back of it. Yeah. Alright, now you're just going to tap your 2 nails in.
Wonderful.
And there you have that side. Now you're going to repeat that process to the other side. Rub it around. Get some glue on there.
I want to keep that even. When you do this, you want to make sure that it's not twisted. So set it down on something before you put the second nail in, so both of these are parallel to one another. Because it is possible to get it like that if you're not careful. There you go. Remember, this is 1 step is higher than the other. Okay. But you're not going to see it. We're going to put glue on the edge. of both of them. Take your riser and put on top of it. You can smear it around a little bit with the there we go. And your riser should come up even with the top tread. And we'll put that there and let it dry, or put a clamp on it. Did we have a clamp? Yeah, we got a clamp. So we'll put a clamp on it to hold it. Did you have two of them?
Okay, so we have a clamp on there, just like that. We're gonna let it dry for a minute, and then we'll go to the next step. Okay, so now we're gonna put a little bit of glue on this one, and then we're gonna glue it to the back of the step.
You gotta be careful, make sure it comes up even with the landing, the top of the landing.
Okay, now we put a clamp on the second step to hold that. So as you can see, everything's being held in place. Give it a few minutes to set up, and then we'll continue. Okay, while it's drying, what you want to do is you want to center your top landing so that it's going to be accurate on each side. You don't want to have too much spacing on one side and not enough on the other.
So we're just going to mark it right there and right there. You only need one mark on one side. And that's going to go in there like that when everything dries.
Okay, so now you can go ahead and remove the clamps. Everything should be pretty much well set up. And you should have something that looks like this. Now, mind you, if you're using the back brace with the thin piece of wood, it would be across here, and then you would have the brace in here. We're not doing that. We're just using that little block.
And now we're going to put the glue on it and let it dry.
All right. Now we're going to put some glue across the top.
Okay.
Alright, now we're going to go ahead and start putting the top on. The very first part of this is putting the landing, which is the top piece here.
Yeah. And we got our marks, which I'm going to extend the marks so I can see them. Yeah, that'll work.
Alright, now make sure when you do this, the back is flat up against the back side pieces.
And if you're not sure, you can always stand it up like that and you'll have it even with the back. If you want, you could put a clamp on there like that with this heavy piece and hold it. but we should be all right without it.
Alright, now we're going to go and put the first step on. And just press it in, make it even with the top.
Before we do that, let's put some glue here. Give it a little bit more stability. And that should be the completed step. If we can put a couple of small clamps and hold this together if we wanted.
Alright, so this is where this is going to go, and if you can see, it's going to be even right with this when we put it up on there, and then it'll work out. Okay, so stay tuned and check Facebook for more images of this, and we will be back. Now for this step, I'm actually going to put some brick around it, kind of like I did here, so it continues around the rest of the house. Okay, so I'm going to leave some Mod Podge on here to just give it a little bit of extra weight on there until that glue sets up, but basically that's it from the front view and the side all by itself. And I will add some pictures and part 2 to show you it when it's completed. Alright, thanks for watching, and follow Dollhouse Miniature Madness and Tutorials on Facebook for more DIY.